Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Sahal Saeed Sheikh Hassan, and I am going to talk to you today about the exact origin of the Somali people. The inhabitants of Horn of Africa were known in variety of names throughout history. The ancient Greeks and the Romans used to refer to them as Barbarous. It is not clear if the boat of Berbera in Somaliland was derived from this name or whether it has any connection with the barbarous people in the north of Africa. Some of the tribal name mentioned by the Arab geography in the Middle Ages, for example, Hawiya, Darod, Ishaq, Gadabursi, Isa, as well as Shekhal, and many more, are all clearly traceable today to some present Somali clients. The collective name Somali is, however, of more recent origin. Apparently, it first appeared in an Ethiopian hymn made for an Ethiopian king, Najash Yashik, in the years between 1414 and 1429 for his victory against the neighboring Muslim Sultan of Ifat. Several theory has been put forward suggesting the exact origin of the Somali people. As yet, no single theory has been agreed upon. Two theories are particular interesting. The first states that the Somalis are descended from the Quraysh of Prophet Muhammad's ancestors, peace be upon him, and therefore of Arab origin. According to Owen, number of Somali client groups trace their descent back to noble Arabian ancestors. Some of them suggesting a close connection to the family of the Prophet, peace be upon him, family of the Prophet himself. Historian regard these connections as more legendary than real. Although this is not to dispute that there has been long contact between the people of the Somali area and the Arabian. The other theory, which is more convincing and based on logistic and interpretation of history, highlighted that Somalis originated in East Africa. Somali is a Cushitic language spoken by about 10 million speakers in east part of Horn of Africa. As a Cushitic language, Somali is a member of Afro-Asiatic superfamily. Within Cushitic, it is a part of lower land East Cushitic branch, which also include other major Cushitic languages like the Oromo. Owen point out that tracing your descent back to the Prophet's origin is not unique to the Somalis, because many Islamicized African society do the same. The evidence linking the Somali ancestral origin to the African continent is far more stronger than the one which links Somali ancestral origin to the Arabia. In the year 1950s, the Italian government, or the Italian colony, which was ruling much of South and Central Somalia, brought together 150 traditional elderly and really asked them what they thought about their origin. And their unanimous reply was that they definitely originated from Arabs. Somali oral historian and poet Haji Muhammad Hussein Sheikh Harir, who died in 1991 at the age of 80, believed that Somalis might have trade and culturally relationship with the Arabs, but definitely did not originate from them. A view also strongly argued and supported by historian Somali Hirsi Hussein. Hussein believed Somali language is older than Arabic and might be one of the oldest language in human history. According to Muhammad Ziyad Gas, Somali researcher whose interest lies in the relationship between the Somali and Egyptian orthographies, there are many Somali words whose meaning can be traced to symbol characteristic of ancient Egypt. He restated that Somali language is older than we might think. Excuse me. When we examine the Somali names such as Rainy, translated Roble, Oli, Subagle, Waber, Don, Waberi, these names all indicated a pre-Islamic culture that has less in common with the Arabic origin. This explanation supports the second theory which relates Somali origin to East Africa. The ancient Egypt name for the Somali territories was the land of Punta, which according to some historians mean land of gods. There was long trade link between the land of Punta and Egypt. The Egyptian king and queens attached magnificent supernatural belief to the countries they used to obtain gods and other aromatic products from it, which were used in temples and sacred places, and for the preservation of the dead. The trade between the two countries reached its peak during the rule of Queen Habasut, 15 BC. According to Hirsi, Islamic civilization in Somalia is believed to have Islamic civilization in Somalia was later built on bits and pieces of those various civilizations and cultures. Islam, the faith of Islam. Islam is believed to have reached the Somali coast in its early years in 615 AD, after the Quraysh, opponent of the Prophet, intensified their persecution on his followers. Prophet alayhi salam, the Prophet urged them to immigrate to Ethiopia. He told his Sahaba, his companion, if you go to Ethiopia, you will find a king under whom none are persecuted. It is the land of righteousness, where God Allah will give you a relief from what you are suffering. A group of 17 followers, including the Prophet's son-in-law, who later became the third Khalifa in the year 664 and 656, Uthman bin Affan or Usman bin Affan, and his wife, the Prophet's daughter Ruqya, immigrated to Ethiopia. This was later followed by hundreds of companions led by Ja'far Abu Talib, the Prophet's cousin. The Sahabas were well received in Aksum in Ethiopia by the Ethiopian king Adras in the years between 610 and 630, also known in Arabic history as Osama or the Najashi, the Ethiopian ruler. On their journey there and back, they rested and stayed for some time in the Red Sea port of Sayla, which was at that time part of the Fars Empire under the Najash. This story tells us that Islam arrived in Somalia before it arrived even in Medina. As we know, Medina is the city of which was later named to City of the Prophet, second holiest city in the Muslim world after Mecca. The Arabic history of historical fact that demonstrate the importance of Islam in the Somali society. Arabic history of the period referred to the whole country as the land of the king, Biladun Najash in Arabic. When the Prophet made his hijrah journey from Mecca to Medina 622, he sent for his Sahabas, his companions who were in Ethiopia, to return. Only 16 of them returned under the leadership of Ja'far Abu Talib, the Prophet's cousin. Some had died in Ethiopia, others intermarried with the locals and remained there. Sayla, the city already had flourishing trade links with the Arab world, India and Persia before it embraced Islam, and eventually became the seat of Islam in Horn of Africa before the rise of Herar in the surrounding area. Sayla Islamic civilization and administration later gave rise to Islamic mini-state in the 13th and the 14th century. The Islamic epoch produced quantity and quality. Changes on all such a trend with a profound consequence. The trend toward the settlement and the trade is giving movement to such an extent that Somali coast as a whole is dotted with a series of significant Islamic city-states such as Sayla, Bulhar, Berbera, Mogadishu, Marka, and Barawe. Form of Islamic organization and administration were imported and modified to fit the local reality. Ibn Battuta, the famous Arab explorer who visited Mogadishu, Ibn Battuta, give me 5 minutes, yeah? Ibn Battuta, famous Arab explorer who visited Mogadishu in 1331, later documented a report of Islamic culture in the Somali coast city. For example, he reported that Mogadishu was full of life A well-established center for commercial activity. Not only goods from Arabia and Persia were available, but goods from Central Africa also passed through its market. The city had a Muslim administration and established central administration, linking the other coastal town further south along the Indian Ocean. A young Islamic leader, Ahmed Ibrahim al-Ghazala, nicknamed Gurey or Gran, emerged in western Somali coast in the years between 1506-1543, also and introduced a credible Islamic administration and further improved the Islamic worldview that inspiring kinship and formation. The principle it was during his time that the Somali territorial identity become more obvious. Somali believe in the concept of statehood and nationalist and a sense of unity that developed in the later period of the 20th century has its roots in Ahmed Gurey's time. That's the end, and thank you very much for taking time to listen my video. Please do subscribe and give it a thumb up, and thank you again.